In a world that has been dominated by Counter-Strike online play due to the stupid COVID virus, we are finally getting back to some sense of normalcy. LAN is back! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast. My name is Adam Cohn. I am your host. Woo! Let's go! LAN's back! Joined as always on my co-host, Dan Welch. Dan, that intro was totally off the cuff. How are you doing, my friend? LAN's back!
I'm good. I can't. That's a tough act to follow. I'm glad that you were able to get that out because I'm also hyped. My hype is like on the inside.
It's on the inside. There you go. So basically, what Dan is saying is he's gonna take down the 5K tomorrow. I like it.
I'm gonna win it.
Cool. So how you been, buddy?
Very good. Just enjoying the summer. Had a good 4th of July holiday and just living life.
Excellent. I hope everyone out there had a great 4th of July holiday here in America. Folks, we're gonna get right into this. We have a jam-packed podcast for you. And Dan and I are gonna come right off front and say this. We got into Counter-Strike DFS when the pandemic shut down all really major international sports. And Draftkings and FanDuel started offering content. At least for me, that's when I started getting into Counter-Strike. Dan, I know you used to play Counter-Strike way back in the day, so maybe you're a little bit more familiar with the LAN play than I am. But so I can speak for myself here. I've never seen a LAN event like live. I've never seen one online. This, for me, starting tomorrow, is going to be a new experience. Have you ever seen LAN play before for Counter-Strike?
No, and I can't wait. Hopefully someday you and I can get to one.
For sure. So, Dan, let's you and I talk about this. So, full disclosure, Dan and I got to do our best to explain LAN play to everyone. We've never seen it. We've never experienced it. We've never watched it. But we're going to do our best to explain what the difference between LAN online play is. So, there are a couple articles that you all can go take a look at. You can just Google difference between online versus LAN CSGO. The Hobbit's got an article out there. Where there was an interview with Hobbit. There's an old HLTV article. There's something from Reddit. So there are a couple of different ones if you want to do a little in-depth one. Basically, here are the major bullet points. Not specifically for this event, but specifically for LAN in general. You have crowds. That probably being one of the biggest factors is crowd pressure. You're not exactly sitting at home, chilling out in shorts or some sweats or Acadian in your hoodies. Whoever, I just feel like I picture Acadian as many different hoodies. But so they can't just be chilling at home in their normal clothes and everything else. Hanging out. You're gonna have to go to the bathroom. You're gonna go have a snack in between games. You're gonna do whatever. You're there with your team and/or coach in front of thousands of people. And Dan, that comes with a little bit extra pressure, right? Because let's say you're Astralis going up against, I'll just say LDLC. No disrespect to LDLC and Maniac. You're going to feel more confident if you're Astralis than LDLC, right? So LDLC maybe feel a bit more pressure than Astralis would, who's been on LAN, who's experienced this environment before. Right?
Of course. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were setting me up there. But no, this would be 100% different. It's and I think that's some of the observations that they've made on the HLTV Confirmed podcast is that the energy from the crowd can really make a difference, and it could also make someone that's more maybe introverted have a more difficult time with LAN. So results will vary for sure. And I don't know if they'll vary that much for Gambit because Gambit is just so good. But it's going to impact people's play for sure. And then, not only that, but there's noise. There's background noise.
Yep.
It's kind of like the difference between home field advantage when you're on an NFL team.
Yep.
The crowd can really interfere with the offensive calling. So.
First two that come to mind when you said that: Kansas City Chiefs at home at Arrowhead Stadium, Seattle Seahawks at home with the 12th man advantage, and how loud that crowd can be. It can affect certain things, and we're not saying they're multi-crowd level noise. It's Teams got to make callouts. Teams still got to do their things, but you do have that background noise. You have the excitement, the anticipation, the pressure. You're feeding off your fans. You know, if you're not going so well, you have to know how to deal with how fans could be reacting or whatever. So that's in a typical environment. Now let's take what IEM Cologne 2021, this event, Dan, that you and I are going to be covering here on the podcast. IEM Cologne 2021 is going to take place on a LAN environment in Cologne with no fans. If you want to see what ESL is doing, head over to the ESL Counter-Strike Facebook page. They have multiple different articles. Check out the HLTV Confirmed episode with Maniac that just came out the other day. They did a breakdown of LAN, a breakdown of Cologne. But there are articles and other stuff. Sponge was saying there's like a 50-page like policy or whatever for COVID protocols. This is going. It still has the. I'm not gonna say pandemic feel. We're still in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, we have vaccines. Yes, there's been mask mandates being lifted, and all that stuff. So life is slowly getting back to some sense of normalcy. But we're not there yet to introduce fans back into it. So Dan, for this event, they're all in like as they said in the podcast the other day, the HLTV confirmed, like a semi-bubble. Everyone is in a hotel. They've already been tested. They've been self-isolating and quarantining for at least 3 days. All right, and this leads me into the second big point with LAN online play, is ping. While the teams are going to be there, all 5 sitting next to each other in a true LAN environment, the ping is going to be different. There's going to be virtually 0 ping. And if you check out this thing here, so if you head over to ggrecon.com, again, Google what I told you earlier, this is an interview that these guys did with Hobbit. And this kind of specifically said it. So they asked him, do pros usually like playing more at LAN events or online? Hobbit's response was, quote, to be honest, online and LAN CSGO is really different. Online, every player is comfortable without much pressure and can show his best. But the ping issue is a problem for the CIS community because you can feel the difference between 5 to 10 ping and 45 to 50 ping. 45 to 50. We, CIS players, have 40 to 50 ping on the German server, while Europe has 5 to 25. On LAN, everyone is playing under the same conditions, so there are no excuses. In general, LAN tournaments are the most important thing in esports. On LAN, everyone can show their winning spirit, and we get to share that with our fans, end quote. So, Hobbit really likes LAN. I'm sure a lot of these pros really like LAN. So the two biggest differences between LAN versus online, LAN have fans, and we'll get back there eventually, and the ping. I mean, you think of, Dan, you've made mention of this in the podcast many times. Issa and his ping issues. Or we saw Flames when he went home. He had ping issues. Woxic, he had ping issues. Higher ping make for a worse experience in-game. I was just playing Counter-Strike the other night. I had a ping spike. I was playing on, relatively decent ping for not being in a LAN environment. And then it spiked up to over 100, and there was a noticeable difference in gameplay. It was choppier. It looked like you were lagging. That does make an effect to how you're playing a game. And these are pros that are now, everyone is on the same playing field. Right? So now everyone's going to have virtually no ping. You're all in an environment. There's no fans, but you still get the team environment. You're still getting pumped up. You're getting fired up. The other team, if you're crushing them, they're going to see how confident the other team is, how pumped up they're getting. It could be a little psychological warfare. There are a lot of different nuances to it. But those are kind of the big ones. It's the fans, that kind of pressure, the excitement, how they feed off of it, how they deal with it, and ping. Everyone's on the same playing field, like Hobbit said. So I don't think I'm missing anything else here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this is the HLTV article. So that's pretty much it, Dan. Those are the two biggest things. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just one thing that Big emerged as a kind of an online champion during when the pandemic started. Just as a little little nugget maybe for tomorrow.
Well, look at you. You're teasing and setting me up for the next thing we got to talk about. I
It
like that.
was.
I like that. That was unintentional. I like it. We need to talk about the Gambit elephant in the room. All right, so it's not so much the Gambit elephant in the room. We need to talk about the teams that emerged during the online era that have become somewhat dominant. We need to talk about the teams that were really good on LAN that were absolutely terrible online or overall terrible. So let's talk about the big two, Gambit and Heroic. These are two teams that came out of nowhere during the online era to emerge as two of the best teams in Tier 1 Counter-Strike. Are we going to see these teams do well? Are we going to see them crumble under the pressure? That's going to be something we have to take into account. And when we're playing DFS, that can be a way to get leverage. Now, Gambit, best team in the world, really not close. Navi, probably number 2 right now, with how Bit's been playing out of his mind. Heroic have kind of fallen to 3rd because we really haven't seen them recently. So those are the top 3. We're going to see all 3 in this tournament. It's just a matter, Dan, of you made mention of it big. Okay, I'll throw another one to you. Complexity. These are two teams that had success, won an event or two, and showed dominance for a little bit during the online era. How are these teams going to talk, and how are these teams going to transition into LAN? Are we going to see Big and Complexity take a step up? We know these teams are super talented. The question is, how are they going to thrive in an environment? Now, there were certain players that have been here before. So, for example, let's take Big, right? Tabson's probably been on LAN before. Xantaras, maybe Searson. You know, like some players have played on LAN. It doesn't matter the success. They have the experience. As opposed to maybe a team like Heroic. Maybe Stound, for example, who's so young, maybe he's never played a big LAN event like this in Tier 1. You know, like, there's going to be learning curves to people. It's not like they have to deal with the crowds right away. But you deal with the low ping environment. You deal with continuity. You deal with teamwork. You still have to deal with that background noise you mentioned. So, Dan, for teams like Big and Complexity, how do you see teams like that who did emerge during the online era? How do you see teams like that doing going back to LAN?
I think Complexity is going to be fine because they have players on the team that are experienced with LAN. I'm sorry, did you say Big and Complexity?
Yep. Because you mentioned Big, and I think Big is probably one of the biggest, no pun intended, biggest wild cards in this entire event.
I'm a little worried for Big just because I'm pretty sure Xantaros has no LAN experience, and then they have that the luxury of. I mean, I've always thought that maybe they just had a really good internet connection, and that was sometimes it was kind of a joke, but I think there is some truth to it. And you mentioned that they're actually on German servers, which I did not know until you just said it.
I didn't know that either until I looked the article from when they interviewed Hobbit.
So, I mean, I think that Big is going to struggle. And you know, tomorrow they're playing Sprout, which Sprout kind of has their number almost. So yeah, I think Complexity is going to be just fine though.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's kind of Dan and I's recap of just real quickly just previewing the difference between LAN versus online play. Dan, let's actually get into talking about this event. If you have questions for us, reach out to us on Twitter at CSGO ClutchPod. I'm on Twitter at WanDelch. Sorry, Dan's on Twitter at WanDelch.
Oh, wait a second.
We did not switch Twitter handles. I was looking at the wrong screen. Dan's on Twitter at WanDelch, WanDelch. You can find me on Twitter at AdamWX21. And again, the podcast can be found at CSGO ClutchPod. I'm more than happy to talk with any of you. Just shoot us a message over in Discord if any of the Discords that we're in. Alright, Dan, let's get into it. IEM Cologne 2021. Our broadcast talent for this event is loaded. Desk Coast is going to be stunner. The analysts, loaded. YNK, Yanko. Moses, Jason O'Toole, the former Liquid coach, former caster / analyst, became Liquid head coach. Don't know what the F happened there. For whatever reason, they got rid of him. He's about to be an analyst. Don't understand it. Moses is back. He came back with Sadakist for the Star Ladder CIS IMR event, and Maniac also coming in as an analyst. Those three analysts are going to be so much fun to listen to. Your main commentator team are teams of Sponge and Machine and Harry and Hugo. Your secondary commentator teams of Dinko and Hawker and Dweg and the Eternal J. Because we have a lot of Counter-Strike going on. Your interviewer is Frankie. The format, Dan, for IEM Cologne 2021, we have a play-in stage. It's a 2-day play-in stage. The opening matches are all best of one. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We'll be talking about that in our DFS portion of the podcast later on. All opening matches are best of one. Dan, we have 8 opening best of one matches. Every following match is going to be best of 3, whether you advance or you go to the lower bracket. Top 8 teams advance to the group stage. The 4 that win the upper bracket, the 4 that win the lower bracket are all going on to the group stages, which is where we're going to see from July 8th to the 11th. It is a 2 double elimination format. Each group has 8 teams. It's seeded using the EPT rankings and the ESL World Rankings. I believe EPT standing for the ESL Pro Tour. Could check for you in 1 second. Road to Cologne, yep, the ESL Pro Tour event. Rankings, rather. And all matches there are best of 3 as well. Top 3 teams. Dan, you and I have seen this before. We've seen this all year. The new format for these guys. I really like this format. Group stage winners advance to the semis, while the group stage runner-up advance to the quarterfinals as the high seed. So basically, if you get to the upper bracket finals in your group, you're automatically headed to the playoffs. Winning that advances you to the semis. Losing advances you to the quarters as the high seed. Whoever gets third in the group stages advance to the quarters as the low seed. Playoffs are a single elimination bracket. Quarter and semis are best of 3. The grand final is a best of 5. Again, LAN gameplay. Prize pool for this event, Dan, you get $400,000 to first place.
Wow.
How can I hitch a ride to one of these teams and do social media or something? I don't care if you give me $1. No, I'm totally kidding. That's a lot of money. This is one of the big events throughout the year. Katowice and Cologne are 2 of the biggish, non-major events. These are the ones teams are vying for. It's a $1 million prize pool. Second place gets a cool $180,000. Third and fourth get $80,000 each. Fifth and sixth, $40,000. Seventh and eighth, $24,000. I'm not going to go below that. We have first place gets you 1,800 ESL Pro Tour points, 3,200 Blast Premier points. No guarantee. There is no spot here in this event that says you're guaranteed a spot in the Blast Premier Global Finals, at least according to this chart. Second place, 1,400 ESL Pro Tour points, 1,600 Blast points. So you can see there's an incentive. If you're one of the teams in Blast, you definitely want to get first. You lose half the points if you get second. Third and fourth get 1,100 points each for the ESL Pro Tour and 1,000 Blast points, so on and so forth. Dan, is there anything before we get into the teams that you want to talk about the talent, format, or the prize pool, other than we would like to be part of the winning team that gets 400,000?
No, I'm good. I'm just excited. Let's keep going.
Excellent. Totally kidding about that, by the way. But Heroic, if you're listening, what do you need me to do?
Hire Adam.
Hire me. All right. So kidding. All right. Let's do this, Dan. To the teams that have already qualified, that are already in the group stage, the first 3 should be no surprise. It's Gambit, Na'Vi, and Heroic. Virtus Pro, Astralis, G2 Furia, and Team Liquid. G2 I agree with. VPs look terrible lately, but qualified. So they get out of that terrible play-in group. So they got Astralis in there. Still a powerhouse. Furia and Team Liquid. This will be interesting. It'll be the first time we're seeing Team Liquid in action. Apparently Stewie 2K is back being the IGL. Fallen's just opping for reasons I still don't quite understand. The whole bouncing back and forth makes really no sense to me. Furia kind of sort of on the downswing with them adding Honda back in over Junior. I assume Art is the one primary opping now and IGLing. They'll be interesting ones. I'm excited to see what we see out of Team Liquid. So we'll talk about that when we get to the group stage. Our play-in teams are Team Spirit, Complexity, Ninjas in Pajamas, Evil Geniuses, Team 1, MIBR, Renegades, VC Gaming, Big, Mouse Sports, Team Vitality, FaZe Clan, Bad News Bears, OG, Team LDLC, Shoutout Maniac, and Sprout. Dan, of these play-in teams, I like one of these things isn't like the other.
Yeah, enlighten me. I'm sorry. I was.
One of these things isn't like the other. Mouse sports, yoo-hoo.
Yeah, what about them?
They shouldn't be there.
The play-in team?
I mean, they were terrible leading up to that, Flashpoint event where they finally decided to break out and show everyone their talent. I think the winners are kind of obvious, in my opinion. So we're going to go through it. Anything about the team stand out to you before we get into the brackets and do a little bit of picking?
The Bad News Bears seems a little bit out of place. I gotta admit, but
I mean, they're trying. So Bad News Bears consisting of PTR, John G, Swisher, Spongy, and Shake Zula. Their coach is Mad Cow.
Oh.
So yeah,
Okay.
so you see John G from the old Chaos Sports Club team. Shake Zula from Triumph, PTR. There are. I think wasn't. Oh, it's PRT. I was on team one. I was gonna say, wasn't he on team one? So I mean, this team's been making noise. There's actually an article about them right now on HLTV.org. Check that out. Yeah, there's a little article about right over here at news. It's how Bad News Bears emerge from the ashes of chaos to keep NA's dream alive.
We don't have much, do we?
I'm not gonna go. Let's just leave that alone for another podcast. So anything I talk about with these teams, or let's get right into the picks.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. So I'm gonna go over to the HLTV confirmed. I'm sorry, HLTV.org event page. Here we see it. Opening round, 8 matchups. Dan and I are going to preview the 5 that are on this DFS slate, and we're going to do our best to get there as soon as possible. Dan, I'm just going to say team names and just rattle them off. NIP versus LDLC. Who wins?
NIP.
Agreed. Bad News Bears and Mouse Sports.
Oh my god.
Right? Poor Bad News Bears. Mouse Sports for me as well. Team Spirit or MIBR?
MIBR.
I'll take Team Spirit. Renegades or Team Vitality?
Vitality.
I agree.
Although, I feel like we have a deja vu right now. However, Yojin is much better.
Yes,
so.
That's for sure. He's definitely been improving. OG versus Team 1?
OG.
I agree. OG as well. Here we go. Sprout versus Big.
Sprout.
I'm gonna go with. I'm going with. No. I want to say Pig, but I think Sprout would win too. Is that bad to say? All right. So I'm picking Sprout too. EG versus FaZe.
Hold on. I feel like Sprout has their number. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
from the same region too.
That may be true. Big, the tier 1 organization for German CS, and Sprout the right underneath at tier 2.
Like the farm team.
Yep. Well, kind of, sort of. So Sprout the tier 2 German. Yeah. All right. EG versus FaZe. This is gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go EG though.
I'm going FaZe. I think FaZe is still talented.
Of course.
Complexity versus Vici.
Complexity.
Agreed.
Although Vici, I think that they could win.
Possible.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a PAL team play European team, so I have like nothing to even compare it to. But
it'll be very interesting to say the least. Well, Renegades is also from over there. Oh no, I'm sorry, they're not. Renegades is
Oh, really?
Oceania. Vichy's in China, aren't they?
I think, yeah, I believe it's China, but there's like just absolute dog poo for teams in Asia
Right.
because
Well, it's Tai
all
Lu
play
and
League of
VC.
Legends.
Really, it's really Tai Lu and VC.
And Vichy beat Tyloo, I think, to get here. So
I think so. Which that says a lot in itself.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Here's an interesting one: Nip or Mouse Sports. I'm going Mouse Sports.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, I can't remember what the tournament was that just happened where Mouse Force kind of shit the bed. Um, Jesus, what was that? Oh, Gamers Without Borders.
I don't really count that. It's a nice
Yeah,
event. It's a charity event. Um, Good event though.
yeah,
I'm going Mouse Sports. You?
yeah. I'm going to too.
All
I
right.
mean, I think Nip has a chance though for sure.
Oh, agreed. That's gonna be a fun best of three tomorrow for sure. All right. So you have MIBR versus Team Vitality.
Oh, Vitality.
I have Team Spirit versus Team Vitality, and I'm gonna say an upset. I'm gonna go with Team Vitality.
Spirit is like Spirit are frauds, dude.
I think
Crush.
they're gonna be a team that may be taking some time to adjust to LAN.
Yeah, they
Um,
have they have major map issues too.
All
Um,
right, so you and I have OG versus Spread. I want to continue to try getting through this, but we'll talk about Team Spirit when we get there on our. Oh, they're not on there. That's Sprout, not Team Spirit. Oh, goody, we don't gotta deal with it. Oops, did I say that out loud? Go ahead, finish your thought on Team Spirit.
oh,
I thought they were on the slate.
they can beat anybody on Dust too, but they lose on Inferno, they lose on Nuke. I mean, and I've never really even seen them play Vertigo, so I don't. That might be one of their bans actually, but they can't play. I doubt they can play Ancient. I don't think they have played Ancient yet. So,
I think that's
um,
gonna be interesting. Gambit picked Ancient against Navi the other day.
yes,
I
yes,
think we're
they
gonna
did.
see these teams start getting more comfortable in that map. That's a fun map. Anyway, but yeah, so I see your point about Team Spirit having map issues.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because of Dagster. Like, there's still some issues because he is. I would say he's still new. I mean, and I watched him pretty closely during the CIS RMR,
Hmm.
and there's just something that's like, I don't know, there's just something that like he's just. I know he's really good, but it's like it's almost like it has to be like a well set up shot from like he doesn't do good under pressure. I think is what
He's
I'm
having
trying
the
to.
slacks problem, adjusting to higher competition, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Kind of like how Slacks went from Tier 3 to Tier 2, and he was so dominant at Tier 3 as an opera, and then goes to Tier 2 on Sprout, and is like really has been struggling. Dexter
yeah,
coming
that's
over from Tier 2 now to Tier 1, kind of sort of struggling. I
kind
mean,
of yeah. I would say kind of.
I mean that to me is the comp that stands out. Is he's struggling to adjust to the play level. I mean, look at Kyojin taking some time. Masuda now finally breaking out. Flames to transition a little bit easier. But yeah. So I'm taking Team Vitality there. So I your point about Team Spirit is well taken. We'll definitely see that in this event of how their maps go. OG versus Sprout.
OG.
Agreed. All right. So you have EG versus Complexity.
Uh, I think this could be really close. And I'm gonna pull from my North American like compadres and say EG.
EG. You're good. I like it. Giving Daps, the new head coach for EG,
Yeah.
little bit of praise there. All right, I like it. I have Phase versus Complexity in what should be a freaking banger of a game. I'll still take Complexity because right now they're the better team, but I think it goes 2-1. I'm not getting in here to the lower bracket, as we don't have time to start getting into who goes where. Check out HLTV Confirmed. They go through this for their play-in stage as well. We can take a quick look, Dan, at the actual. That's the play-in. The actual Cologne event. Um,
Okay.
the brackets right now. Group A are Gambit, Team Liquid, Virtus Pro, and G2. And then, oh boy, Navi, Furia, Astralis, and Heroic. we could have an Astralis heroic uh, upper semi. Oh boy. Um,
Be wonderful.
um, and Hunden is not traveling with this team.
I heard that. What? So I didn't get the explanation though.
Astralis is starting to look at life beyond their current roster and have started eyeing Hunden as the replacement coach for Zonic.
What?
There was an article up here about sources saying Zonic ponders leaving Astralis' contract nears end. A lot of the core of this roster, Zonic and the four that are not Bubsky, their contracts are expiring at the end of the year. Are they staying on? Are they not staying on? Where are they going? There's speculation already that Astralis is targeting Hunden as the replacement coach for, instead of Zonic.
Is he going to bring over his team too? I mean,
I don't know. It's possible we see Heroic just become Astralis, and
yeah.
that says something. But with that's a whole other story for another time. We don't have time to get into recent news here on this pod. We will get into that probably on tomorrow's podcast. Get into some recent news. We can go into more about this. But that's pretty much it. So we don't know if this is anything to do with Astralis or if he's just not going. Um, a Heroic are running the same setup and the same players as when they won ESO Pro League Season 13.
You
So
can't win Pro League like this.
th-
Remember
th-
that?
thank you, Machine. Um, that
They
that
can't recreate it.
that was I've watched that clutch so many times, probably at least
Somehow
a
that
dozen or 2 dozen times. It's legendary.
somehow that ended up on my LinkedIn page, and I got to watch it like another time the day after. But yeah, I remember
Sorry,
I watched that
it was
entire match
it was
for it
probably
to
me.
end. What?
It was probably me. I think I shared it or liked it.
You might. Oh, that's probably what it was. Okay, I was like, how that is this on my LinkedIn page? But oh man, I just that was such an amazing day for me. Like, oh my
hmm
god, like I just was awesome to have it. And it sucked for Gambit, and they did look, maybe tired. But I heard the Nafany interview, and he said that they weren't. He said that they weren't tired. That that they just got beat, and he made a mistake, and you know, life goes on, kind of.
Yeah.
Which I really, dude, he's a good dude. I
Yep.
really
Folks,
like listening to him talk.
yeah, for sure. Sorry, Dan, you cut out a
He's
bit there.
very really good team is to have a humble leader. So
All right, stand by, folks. I'm gonna try something here. Give me a second. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so let me do this. I'm going to reboot where Dan and I were talking. Let's see if we can get Dan back. All right, Dan, are you back?
I'm here. Are you here?
I blame Discord. So I apologize about that. Go ahead and finish talking up your last point there. We had you cutting in and out for a little bit, so sorry about that, folks.
Am I still here?
You are here. You are live now. We are back to a full voice connection.
I know. I was just awesome.
So, but no, you were making you were making some good points. Go for it.
Now that I practice it once, maybe I'll be able to make it more
Eloquent.
or more eloquent and maybe short.
I like it. Go for it.
I was just saying that I think that Nafany is a really humble leader, and maybe that's what it takes for a team to become a really, really strong powerhouse in Counter Strike. That's all.
Look, it's 100% possible, right? Like, I mean, I go back to the whole Nafany thing with Frank is just like, "Where's Shiro? Where's Shiro?" And Nafany's like, "He's right here." And Shiro's like, "I want nothing to do with this." Nafany seems
The interview?
super. Nafany seems super humble and down to earth. So, anyway, Dan, are you still there?
Yeah,
Excellent. All right.
I am. I don't. All right,
I
good.
it,
Let's go.
it's errors on my end. I'm going to try fixing this again. Give me 1 second here. Let's do this. And do that. And there we go. Dan, let's get into this 5-game slate. So, as a reminder to everybody, right? So, like, as a reminder to everyone, we have best of ones. Dan, what do we do on best of ones?
High ceiling rifle fraggers limit your opera exposure, and take some big risks. Don't stack too many. You can, but two at most, I would say. Definitely don't run any. Well, I shouldn't say definitely don't, but for GPP purposes, a run back is okay. But you're really limiting yourself if you do that. So
Yeah, on a 4+ game slate, I'm going 2-2-2, 2-2, 1-1-1. I don't care if it's 2-1-1-1. We're looking for ceiling in a best of one format. We want 100% ceiling. I don't care. Look, if you just want to cash, go play cash games. I want to win $5,000. What is going to get me to that point? Right?
I am now in the GPP camp. By the way, I'm starting to trust my GPP what is it, analysis, I guess.
I like it. Alrighty, Dan, let's blow through this 5-game slate here. We are running a little long on the podcast, but again, this is the start of a, let's face it, again, one of the bigger non-event majors of the year. So, here we go. Team Vitality versus Renegades. Zywoo, for whatever reason, is not the highest priced player on the slate. For reasons I don't quite understand. He's the third highest. He's the third highest priced player. What's the theory? Tell us your theory. We have technical issues again. Give me 1 second, folks. I apologize. I've been having seemingly connection issues with my Discord for reasons I don't quite understand. So give me a second. I'm going to try reconnecting here. I apologize about the interruptions. This has been a couple times now we've been having issues. I don't understand why. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's see if we can get Dan back. Alright, let's do this. See if we can get Dan back here. In the meantime, while I'm trying to figure out these connection issues, so I'll just have a bunch of dead air, here is what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Team Vitality is a lock against Team Renegades, in my opinion. There is zero excuse to really not be playing Team Vitality on the slate. Here's my theory, though, about Team Vitality. I think that there is 100% a way that we can go ahead and we can play Masuda, we can play Kyojin, we can play Apex, we can play Zywoo, we can play anybody. Alright, folks, see if we have Dan back here. Dan, are you back?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I apologize. I am when this podcast recording is over, I'm gonna have to re-download Discord. This is not the first time I've had issues. I've had issues recently with the connection issues, so I will figure that out. But I was just telling the folks that you play Team Vitality and move on. I was also saying that we could play guys like Masuda, Kyojin, Apex, and I wouldn't be afraid to take shots with those guys.
Oh, Masuda's a great play. Expensive. I mean,
Masuda is $8,800. Masuda's never been 8,800 that I can ever recall on a DFS slate.
Oh, he's on another level though. He's like, I don't know what it is. It's be a role change or they've kind of pulled him up as how they have Kyojin. Not that Kyojin is like less than, just maybe handling some of the situations that he used to handle. But he's been pulled up to a higher level.
It's possible. All right. Anyone on Renegades you're interested in?
No, absolutely not.
My
I
favorite
mean,
from Team
well,
Vi. Go ahead.
I'd just say ends.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I would agree. I would say Ins, Hats, maybe. But I think Masu. I'm gonna be very ballsy, and I'm gonna get very large field GPP-ish right now. I think Masuda is my favorite play from Team Vitality.
Me too.
Is that like
Seriously.
bad of me to say or like blasphemous against Iwo?
No, I mean, like think about when it's not a best of three slate. We usually get like a ceiling game from Zaiwu if it goes three maps.
And we know Masuda
Because
can sometimes just have mega maps.
yeah, it was like one good map. I mean, we look real quick to see maybe what that map could be, like just to or do some speculation real quick.
Let's see if we can figure that out here. So let's head back here to the play-ins. And I will read it for you. Let's see. Team Vitality versus Renegades. Um, both of these teams permaban Ancient.
Agent.
Team Vitality has played Mirage twice and has lost both times. There is a possibility this comes down to Dust 2. Just putting it out there. Renegades have played Dust 2 8 times. Team Vitality 6 times. Renegades have a 75% win rate. Team Vitality a 50% win rate. Inferno could be one. 89% win rate on Inferno for Renegades with 9 maps played. 6 maps played for Team Vitality at a 50% win rate.
So I'm just gonna say I don't think it'll end up going to Dust 2 because I know that the Renegades are pretty good on Dust 2, but that's just pure gut speculation. So.
Yep. All right, let's get into the next game here. Again, another game that shouldn't take too long. Team 1 versus OG.
OG.
No,
OG.
damn, that was like OG. Next game.
No, and I'm actually OG's a big target of mine for tomorrow.
I agree. Like this could be a favorite 2-stack of mine, and I think it'd
Yep.
probably be a favorite two. It sounds like it's a favorite 2-stack of yours, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Flames is a fantastic play at $8,000. Flames is one of those players where we talked about it before. We've talked about this before. We've talked about Flames having ping issues when he's been playing from home. When he's been boot camping, it's been completely different. It's been far and away better for them playing on boot camping for him. Now we get back in the LAN, and I think Flames is one of my favorite players on the slate. We are running into technical issues trying to get Dan back here. Getting Dan back, take 10,001 action.
I'm here.
It's on my end. I apologize to all the listeners. I have been doing everything I can here behind the scenes to try holding a connection. I tried fixing this last night. This happened when I was playing Counter-Strike last night. It just kept cutting out.
Oh no,
Um,
it's the worst.
yeah, especially when you're playing on Nuke. Um, so, yeah, anyway. I was just telling the viewers, we play Flames. We play lots of Flames.
Valid too.
hmm
That's
I
valid.
think Mantu's also awesome.
I think they're both good pivots. Like you could play two, you could play one, play and out of 10 you know what? So I think I'm gonna do 40 lineups. I think out of 40, I'm gonna have like 30 with someone from OG.
I think that's a fair assessment to have. All 5 OG are firmly in play. The only one from Team 1 I'm interested in is Mobs, and if you want to have someone else, Maluki. Pesiato, PRT, and I don't even know who XNS is. Um, they're fine pivots for large field GPPs. I wouldn't go crazy. Dan, anything else you talk about this game? Which pretty much that's it. Don't understand what's going on here. There really shouldn't be any kind of quality issues. I just fixed this yesterday. Um, Sorry, everyone. I'm trying to get Dan back as much as possible. I am not having any luck. Discord is. I might have a bug on Discord, and I can't reboot that right now. So we may have to do the rest of this podcast without Dan if I can't get this connection to hold. Let's try this again. Dan! Um,
Ooh.
I am trying to keep this together as much as possible. We are running into a lot of technical issues.
Yeah, do you want to?
We're gonna try speeding this along here.
Okay.
At the very least,
I could just give you my quick thoughts, and then rather than it might be a better use of time.
yeah. While I have you,
Exactly.
let's just go over the last three pretty quickly. And again, folks, I'm gonna try fixing this tonight so we won't have these issues going forward. Sprout versus Big, FaZe versus EG. Would you agree that these are two games where all 10 players are in play?
Yeah, these would be my hedge situation or matches where I could play both sides.
I agree with that because I think that's where you got to get different. Vici versus Complexity. Config.
What?
Config comes in at 10,200.
Yeah, but I think he's worth it.
I agree.
Yeah. Although this could be a quick one where
It could be 16-4 Complexity.
The ceiling, because okay, so maybe a good basis of comparison is like this is the Renegades from I forget when did the Renegades get the
It was ESL Pro Tour, ESL Pro League Season 13 is the last time we saw them.
Yeah, so I think that VG is now the Renegades of Pro League, but we won't really know for sure until we see them. So
yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about from the slate? Like, I want to make sure we have you here for it. For me, I'll just go over real quick. Sprout versus Big. I'm playing Sprout. Sprout's probably a fantastic value stack. Cressy at 5,400 stands out as someone who is too damn cheap. Anything else here you would want to go to?
Tizian.
Of course,
Keto.
you would say Tizian. Why do they even give you the damn option?
It's a good spot. I'm telling you. And Keto, I think, because I think there's the most ceiling on one map. I mean, like he can just completely go off.
I would agree. FaZe
So
versus
don't fade Big.
yeah, don't fade Big. FaZe versus ZG again. I think all 10 players are in play here. You can get different here with your stacks. Mihu.
I'm gonna avoid Rain.
See, I have interest in Rain at 6,600.
Mm.
So I just I don't want to cop out and say all 10 players are in play, but you can make your lineups extremely unique by getting different in Sprout versus Big and FaZe versus EG. In a best of one, where any of these guys can go off, we could see Olaf drop 24 and 10.
I mean, like, look at it's 5 games. Like, you have enough. There's enough
variation.
Enough options. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to get clever.
Yep.
You have to. You play the dudes.
Play all the dudes. I like it. Thank you, Al Smizzle. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, so Al Zeidenfeld's like one of his like things was play all the dudes. So all right, let's
tomorrow.
Dan, let's get into it. Core value, GPP, favorite team stack segment. I don't want to lose you. Give us a core, a value, a GPP, and a favorite team stack. It's a 5-game slate. Go for it.
core is actually I have to be multiple. It would be Other Flames and Nico. Um,
I like it.
value is Cressy.
Yep,
GPP would be Ins.
I like it. And do you have a favorite team stack? I think you've kind of already said it.
Yeah, OG.
I agree. All right, core for me is going to be Flames. Value plays to me also is going to be Cressy. I also like Carrigan at 5,000. I think
Hmm.
that's way too cheap for him. And against EG, I think he can do good. I also don't rule out Olaf Meister 5,600 either.
Oh no, dude,
GPP, 5,600 for Olaf.
that's a good. That's a good. I mean, he can go off.
He can. GPP, I'm going to put Rain in there. And Xantaris and Masuda. Favorite team stack? I'd also agree it's OG to give you a different one. Phase. Alright, let's get into our prize pick segment here. And again, we apologize everyone for the technical difficulties. I need to try fixing this. Dan, here we go. Let's do this. Prize picks. Give us 2 to 3 picks. There are a ton here.
Let me, um,
And I think, again, you have to keep it in mind when you get into the play-in stage here. The play-ins are all best of one. So when we see, for example,
could you read
yeah, I'd be
them?
happy.
I'm having.
Yeah, give me one
Read
second. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna go with mine, and then we'll get Dan's. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with mine. I'm gonna go Rops. I think the Rops line is very interesting at 21.5. I think that's a really interesting line. I'd kind of say Rops over. I mean, right? Like, Rops in the over is very, very interesting to me. So, I think that's an interesting one. Dexter under 22.5 is also interesting. So let's also take a look at what else we got here. I take the under on Dexter at 19.5. For sure, I'll take the under on Dexter. Dan, you back?
I'm back.
All right.
I think if I am if I'm watching your screen, I can't. That it impacts the connection. So
Yeah. So when Dan and I do these, I stream one on Discord for him, just so Dan and I are on the same page. Um, so I was just saying that I like Rops over 21.5 kills tomorrow
on one map,
on one map.
yeah, definitely.
It's Bad News Bears. No
Oh
disrespect to
my
them.
god, yeah. Sorry, Bad News Bears, but and it could be too short for him to get that many though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a safe one. Like that's like a real safe one. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I was also saying Dexter under 19.5 versus MIBR.
Hmm. Yeah, seems a
Um,
little. That seems like a. Yeah. Okay.
yep.
Um.
Give us your prize picks before we lose you.
I so I can't. I can't.
If we lose you. So I
Man.
like. Yeah, I'll screen share again. Hope we don't lose you this time. So go ahead, give us some picks here.
Well, I'm just. I gotta open my app so because I can't see.
Okay. So while Dan gets
Should have
that
had it.
up, I'm gonna be extremely ballsy here on this game. Breezy under 17.5 kills, Twist over 18.5 kills. That's my opinion. And those are my picks. So I'm taking Rops over 21.5 kills, Dexter under 19.5 kills. I'm going with Breezy under 17.5, and I'm going Twists over 18.5. We're going to try getting Dan back here. Again, these issues will be fixed tomorrow, folks, I hope. I am so sorry. There's this connection issue I don't quite understand. So let's try this again.
I'm gonna say Zywoo.
There he is, Dan. All right, let's do this. Sorry, we cut out again. So go ahead. Who are your prize picks?
Okay.
he was just
over
talking to himself.
On one map.
Smiley over. All right, so we get Smiley versus Entropic. You're going over 35.5. I like it.
And then Zywoo under 22.5. One map.
I agree. I like that.
And Maven over 17.5.
I like it.
Nice. I'll give you those.
I like it. I gave the folks Rops over 21.5, Dexter under 19.5, Breezy under 17.5, and Twist over 18.5.
You really think that?
I think FaZe is going to beat EG. I think it's going to be close, but I think Twist is going to have a really good game. I think Breezy just the struggles for him are real. I don't know what's going on with him.
I agree. Yeah, Twist is definitely in play for me tomorrow, no matter what.
Yep.
I mean, lose or draw.
Yep.
So.
And if you want a fifth from me, Flit over 40.5 versus the Young Ninjas.
Okay.
All right. Folks, again, I apologize, sincerely apologize about the connection issues. We're doing so well there, and then we just started having connection issues. Dan, any final thoughts on this podcast or this slate that you want to go over?
No, but I'm like super pumped to go to bed and wake up tomorrow morning. So
yeah, it's Christmas comes early. It's Christmas in July. LAN is back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the CSGO Clutch podcast. Again, follow Dan on Twitter at @1delch. Follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21. Follow the podcast on Twitter at CSGO Clutch Pod. And as always, sign up for our friends over at Prize Picks using the promo code CLUTCH. New depositors get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. LAN is back, everybody. Good luck on this slate. And latest, peoples.